Hello, I'm your SI for Psych 12, and today we will actually be going over the problems that were in the worksheets provided in preparation for the midterm that is coming up. And then I'll go over week 3 lectures. Firstly, the worksheets review. In week 1, I asked, what is the difference between a data consumer and data producer? Provide examples of each. In week 2, I asked, define the following terms: empiricism, theory, hypothesis, and data. I also asked what's the difference between the corporate theory and the contact comfort theory. And lastly, what are the qualities of a good theory? I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer the questions, or you can pause the video and resume when you're ready. Week 1 answers. A data consumer is someone who reads and applies research in their life, for example, everyday citizens. Meanwhile, a data producer is someone who produces data, such as a researcher. Empiricism is the systematic observation of the world. A theory is a set of statements that describe the general principles about how variables relate to one another. An hypothesis is a way of stating the specific outcome that should be observed if the theory is correct. Lastly, data is a set of observations. Corporate theory is the theory that attachment depends on providing food, whilst the contact comfort theory is the theory that attachment depends on providing comfort/warmth. The qualities of a good theory is that it is falsifiable, parsimonious, and supported by data. In week 2, I asked, explain and list the 4 types of claims. What are the types of validity? Why is research better than intuition, experience, and authority in terms of making claims? I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer those questions, or you can pause the video and come back when you're ready. For the answers for week 2, firstly, the 4 types of claims are research claims, association claims, frequency claims, and causal claims. Research claims are claims based on measured variables. Association claims are claims that 2 variables have a relationship. Frequency claims are claims based on rate or degree. Causal claims are claims that one variable has a direct responsibility for another variable. The types of validity are statistical validity, construct validity, and external validity. Intuition is flawed by faulty thinking and motivation. Experience is when there is no comparison group and multiple explanations for each experience. And authority is only based on when an expert or on a particular subject can make claims based on their own research but runs risk of not being based on personal observations. So now, for week 3, Professor Franchak delved into observational research and sampling. Observational research is a form of research in which researchers carefully record the behavior of animals and people through numerous forms. It is applicable for any type of claim, such as frequency, association, or causal claims. And it accounts for the problems of self-report. For example, inaccurate memories of the participants and participants wanting to seem like better people, so they change the answers. What are the threats to validity in observational research? There are numerous threats to validity in observational research. Namely, we'll be speaking about observer bias, observer effects, and reactivity. Observer bias is when the researcher's expectation for the results change how they perceive the participant's behavior. Observer effects is this same relationship but from the participant's point of view. It's the term used to describe how participants' behavior changes to fit what they think researchers expect. To battle this, researchers can use a max/buying design. Lastly, reactivity is when participants change how they behave because they know someone is watching. What types of sampling leads to bias sampling? There are numerous ways to sample a population that might lead to bias sampling. Firstly, there is a convenience sampling, in which the participants are a sample of people that are the easiest to reach, aka sample with only willing participants. There is a snowball sample, which is a form of sampling where already chosen participants help find more participants for the study. So people bring in their friends to participate in the study. Or acquaintances. How do we get a sample that truly represents the population? In order to get a sample that truly represents the population, there are many routes for researchers to take. They can get a random sample, which is when everyone in the population has an equal chance of being selected, which is the goal. Through this, they can do a simple random sample, which is when researchers give every member of the population a number, then randomly select the subset from that number. Cluster sampling is when clusters of participants are chosen from the population. And lastly, multi-stage sampling is when samples are selected from the aforementioned clusters in cluster sampling. That's where we'll end it for this week. Good luck on the midterm.